Welcome to RVU, an RV Insider podcast where I will interview industry experts, icons, and influencers. Classes in session to discuss all things RV. I'm your host, Angie Morrell, and today we have Pat Carrol, Director of Product Development for Entegra Coach. Wow, that's a mouthful, Pat.
Well, I've been told that.
Oh no, this is going to be fun. Not only is he Director of Product Development, he's a longtime friend.
Very true.
So thanks for joining me today. And today's going to be easy. I'm not going to ask you any hard questions.
Oh, great. I look forward to that.
I'm not critiquing your designs or anything.
Well, you've given me some great ideas.
That's what I usually like to do with Pat, is he's kind enough to always, you share sometimes little tidbits of things that you're doing and ask for my opinion, and I think you care.
I know I care.
So today I'm going to have just some easy questions for you.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about what you're most excited for in your 2024 lineup.
Well, for 2024, it wasn't a big model change year because we had a massive one in 2023
The new dash.
with a new Safe View dash. And then literally that's just putting a brand new whole computer system on board on the coach. So we had some refinements. We were working on that for the 24 with that product and from customer feedback of the owners on the 23. But along with that, we did some other things. And one of them, actually, you gave me the idea, was to improve our D floor plan, which is a top selling floor plan for us. But we enhanced the kitchen area, which was really kind of the Achilles heel of the floor plan.
It was.
And we added a lot more drawers and increased the storage space by 17%. So that was a big step forward. We've also felt on our higher end models, the Aspire and the Anthem and Cornerstone, connectivity is very important. So we put the Starlink system on there as a standard feature. Along with, we still have the Wi-Fi Ranger 2 for connectivity. We've done little things that customers ask us to do, but user-friendly things to make the whole experience, just like NIRVC does, and making the customer experience so better. Mm-hmm. So even from a hot water tap in the front of the coach,
love that,
to be able to spray off your coach. And the unique thing about Entegra Coach buyers is I can be in Quartzsite, Arizona, in the biggest dust bowl you've ever seen in your life, and they're out there polishing and shining their coaches, right? So they, again, all these ideas, I take most of them back to our campus and we discuss them in our product development. And most of them, of course, I get from the owners. I don't tell the people that are on campus that. I say they're my ideas. But that, getting that feature on the coach, we were asked to put a gray tank flush on a coach.
Right.
We now have that. So it's all these little things that people have told us to improve, and we've done that. So I'm really excited about them seeing that their ideas and your ideas are being implemented into the design, because really, no matter what product you're developing, whether it's an RV or whether it's a chair, you always need great direct customer feedback. And the way you have your events and all these customer events, it's just a really great pool of information for me to go and talk to our owners, and I thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you, Pat. I love the fact that you want to listen to my ideas. Some good, probably some really just okay. But I recently just did the 2024 Cornerstone video, in fact, last week. And it was fun to see the implementation of the changes to the D floor plan and the hot water line to the front cap area. And a lot of the things that you just mentioned, customers are really going to love. Along with the new dash, which like you said, it was new for 2023, but now, I love it. The video screen, 14-inch screen, and the blind spot monitors that you can see these little red lines that run along. You'll have to watch the video to see more, but it's phenomenal. Well, it really is.
Thank you. The team worked hard on it. Yep.
Yeah, it was. I know it was. They worked hard and a long time coming, and you're still with us. That's a great thing, right?
I am. And part of that whole dash and everything, we've had owners like the one Mike DeRuyter and his wife that you delivered a coach to in the Cornerstone. He said really the marketing materials doesn't do it justice versus actually sitting in the coach and
Right.
driving it. And really the whole idea behind it was safe view, easy to drive. We've got a great ride and handling coach, but now the operation of it, how to make it better and easier and safer is always on our radar as well.
And it truly is. I had a customer that has a coach on order with us, an Entegra Coach, and they were getting just a little bit of cold feet, you know, and they called and asked me some questions about the ride and the drive and the new features. And it was really nice to just be able to say, I was in that coach yesterday. I drove it. I can't tell you how comfortable and quiet, and you know, it was really, it's an easy sell.
Yes, it is. It
So
is.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You make my job easier.
No, I try to.
What trends do you see coming for 2025? So I know I'm asking ahead. You don't have to tell any industry secrets, or you can, just to us. But what are you hoping to incorporate into your designs for 2025, possibly?
Well, one of the things we're always working on, and it's a double-edged sword when it comes to technology. You want to embrace the technology, but you can't have it overly complicated.
Right.
Like we did have our Firefly system on the AV system on the Firefly. It was overly complicated for customers to understand.
Yeah.
So I think the brilliance of a person like Steve Jobs and Apple was the magic he put on there. It was very intuitive.
Right.
So we're keep on working on, is this intuitive to use it this way or that? Still embrace technology, but keep your radar up on that. We also want to work on some further refinements, and some of those I can't really speak openly, but you've certainly taken a broomstick to me and beat me about
I know what he's
some
talking
of
about.
these things, and
Might be coming in
we
2025.
look forward to sharing and showing those things in the future. I think one thing about us is like we may not be the fastest in product development, but we want to be methodical, and when we do develop it, make sure it's correct.
Get it right.
And get it right, than having customer dissatisfaction because we didn't get all the bugs worked out before we launched it. And I think that's worked in our favor.
Yeah, right. No, I'm excited. I know that you just kind of hinted towards something. I won't give them any more hints, but you're going to be excited.
And by that time too, you know, the one thing I forgot to mention was we are coming out with the 37-foot Anthem.
Oh,
We've
right.
got the second prototype currently on the line, and we should have a few of those out by the end of this model year. But it's everything Anthem, from the front axle 20K to the horsepower side radiator 450 horsepower L engine. So it's going to be a great riding coach. It's going to have two big bays, one 38 inches wide, one 48 inches wide.
Nice.
It's probably unheard of, but we really wanted to make sure that the customer, yes, it is shorter, but we also understand that they need
You didn't
storage.
decontent it.
Yes, and we didn't put what's easier for production to put the aqua hot in the way, or put half the water, put the water tank in the front, the gray and the black in the back. So we did a lot of engineering in it, and a lot of owners have asked for that. And we had a good reception at Homecoming in Goshen at the end of May, and I've heard some people here at this open house ceremony ask me about it.
Yes, they're anxious for it. So when do you think it will actually hit the ground?
Fourth quarter of this year.
Okay, that's exciting. That's
And it's
really
coming
exciting.
your way, wherever store you want to. So
Yeah.
reach out to Angie. And
Yes, yeah,
get
give me a
her
call,
on
because
that.
I know that's been something that, you know, you've provided beautiful big class, class A coaches for customers, and now if they want to downsize a little, or I've noticed that they would like, that's kind of a market you were missing a little bit. So I think that 37-foot Anthem is really going to fill a sweet spot for Entegra.
Right, and the nice thing about my profile now, I am old, and so
Whatever.
and you understand the fact that you start losing your eyesight is not as keen, whether we like it or not. And sometimes the bigger coaches, they don't feel as comfortable because they're losing their eyesight, diminishing, which is a common occurrence in life, and so they're looking for a shorter coach to handle. But we didn't want to lose any of the amenities of it. We didn't want to get a small little motorhome that look like it was some inexpensive gas coach.
No,
either.
I'm excited to see it. I can't wait. So no tag axle.
No
just,
tag axle.
That's really the only difference
The only
between
difference.
the Anthem.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And 2 ACs?
Two ACs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no carpet on that one.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. No carpet on a 37-foot Anthem.
You hadn't told me that. So
Well,
that's exciting.
So I was hoping he'd buy more.
Well, now I'm going to.
Okay.
In the market for a new or new-to-you RV? Check out National Indoor RV Center's massive nationwide inventory. NIRVC has a wide selection of Class A, Class B, and Class C RVs. And their one-stop shop approach means you can count on their trusted experts for sales, service, storage, and more. Experience the NIRVC difference. Visit NIRVC.com.
Today's episode receives support from the All-Inclusive Motorhome Club. The AIM Club connects you with fellow RV enthusiasts from all across the country and comes with a ton of great benefits, including special discounts, VIP services, and exclusive access to incredible rallies and RV events, all for just $35 a year. Learn more at aimclub.org.
So, Pat, you've been doing this for a long time. How
yes,
long?
44 years. I started in 1979.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your process has changed over the years, but what does that design process look like?
Well, it has, funny, and I've learned a lot in terms of over the years, and I think one of the best mentors I ever had was the CEO of Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson owned Holiday Rambler in the 90s, early 90s, and it was a gentleman named Vaughn Beals, who had just bought the Harley from AMF and was trying to fix that issue. But he taught me the most important thing about business is product. And he religiously, taught me about the importance of that. So he would show me his notes on a Honda Goldwing and a Harley Davidson. He was the teacher that taught me in the early 90s. And so he had bought a Holiday Rambler Imperial, and then he just taught me so many things about riding, driving, and passionately love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really turned Harley around. And he was so good. And I remember one time we were in the R&D shop, and one person had thought he had a great idea, and he was a tall and kind of intimidating man, but very smart, MIT grad. And this guy goes, "Hey, I got a great idea. What if we put a toolbox in the slide-out cargo tray?" And the look on this guy's face was just like, still etched in my mind, like, "I didn't buy this thing to work on it." And he had that deep voice. And from that moment on, the goal was to always, let's make a coach that people don't have to work on. And which prior to that was always kind of we can fix it, or we can send it to a dealer. And it's totally the wrong mantra to have. So that's one of the changes I've had. The other I've learned, and again, was the importance of the customer and getting right up front with the customer, right? I've been in companies where you're looking through a one-way glass and having somebody else run the meeting to get customer input. Well, that doesn't really matter because nobody's got their wallet out.
Right.
Okay. And so everybody can throw out great ideas, but they're not paying. Where the rubber meets the road is when I'm with you and your team and we're in front of a customer, and then I can really hear why they liked it or why they didn't like it. And I had a competitor out here, an owner out here with a competitor's unit that had left Entegra, but I asked just today, why'd you leave us? That's the kind of questions you want to know. Why'd you leave us? And so all those tumbled in the basket, and then you start shaking it down. You see repetitive things that we really have to do this. We prioritize those, and then we lock in a date where we have to freeze all the development plans, and then we move forward. So like currently, all locked in on the 2025s of what we're going to do. We've got the prototype scheduled, and they're going to be built here in the next couple of weeks as they are going down the production line. And then, all that has changed in terms of where we're going in the product. In the future.
Well, I will say that I don't think there's another manufacturer or another person that I know in the industry that listens more intently to customer feedback, whether you want to or not.
Well, that's a kind compliment.
No, it is. Like Pat, you come to our rallies, and we have these sessions where people sit down and they want to tell you their improvements or what they like or don't like.
Right.
And, those kind of things can quickly turn into a complaining session. You never let it get there because you're so funny. He's so funny. You can't see it because he's behaving himself.
I'm behaving right now.
I don't know why, but he's so much more fun now. No, he's behaving, but I have seen over the years, you take that feedback and put it into the coaches. Every time I do a walkthrough, I say, oh, I know who, gave Pat that idea, and I know who gave Pat that idea. And you have to actually implement those into your builds, which is so impressive.
Right. And I think the other unique thing that helps me is that I was with another company. I owned that coach. And right now I own an Anthem.
An Anthem, right?
So being an owner too gives me another perspective. I get to understand the frustrations of owners of not being able to get service. And that's why I'm so excited about this whole NIRVC thing, because your actually focus is on the customer service end of it, and not so much on the sale. And that's the great experiences. People want to see this beautiful country of ours, and I can think of no better way than to travel around in your own motorhome. Every time I travel, and I don't travel, with my motorhome because of our schedule, just like you.
We work all the time.
But, every time you check in a hotel room, it's another bed. I got here in Nashville, and I had to check out of a hotel my first night. It was so seedy, and so all those kind of things versus why wouldn't you have your own bed, your own sheets, all your stuff, it's all yours.
Your own food, your own kitchen.
Food, all the time, and everything is like, so I love the whole lifestyle, and to me, the luxury motor coach part of it, you got a great riding coach, you've got everything you need in it, and to me, it's just a marvel when you see these big machines going down the road. And in fact, even this morning when I was driving in here in this beautiful setting, and I see these couples out walking their dogs and enjoying. This was fairly early this morning, and I looked at him and go, the beauty about RV owners is really they don't docile in their own home and on 5th Street in the middle next to the town and sit there seeing the rest of their life decay.
Right.
They're ambitious Voyager that grab life by the horns and say, I'm not going to sit idle. I'm going to learn. I'm going to see the beautiful country. And I get to meet all people just like us. And most of all of us in this family of RV owners are so similar, right? It's not like when people try to pull them apart and say, well, this guy's different than this, or what is profile? No.
It's very, very inclusive group.
Yes, and very caring group.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And they will help each other out, and they've certainly helped me out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whether you want it or not. But yeah. So, Pat, how do you get your inspiration for new models?
Really, we go to kitchen and bath shows. We go to the tile show. We go to the Consumer Electronics Show. I go to the SEMA show. SEMA is where I get my paint.
Where you get your what?
Paint ideas.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a bunch of custom cars and stuff like that. And then I see what trends or what's hot or what color. And those guys are always a little bit further ahead of me.
Okay.
And so I've always been like bold, and I want it
very bold,
very together and a flow to it. And I see some of all the others and the jumbled lines and this and that, and I want us to look sharp as a show car at a SEMA show.
Well, you've succeeded, because I can tell you that when an Entegra pulls onto the lot, people, if they're not familiar with the brand, they want to know what coach that is, because it catches their eye from your front cap to your graphics and colors, everything. So,
thank you.
You've succeeded.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so National Indoor RV Centers is all about the RV revolution. In that being, we're always working hard to improve the industry for our customers. For example, the VIP shopping event we're planning for next June. Just kind of always upping the ante a little bit. What are you working towards at Entegra to kind of work towards that RV revolution?
Well, I think there are many things that we still need to improve upon. Well, we need to improve and step up our number of YouTube videos on operations that we've got now. Director PJ Clanton in terms of customer affairs, and he's going to be putting out more videos. We do Entegra Academy, but we need to expand that class, but also do more live classes. So the thing people ask me, oh, Pat, why haven't you retired yet? And I basically said, I love my job. It's very exciting, but I also learn something every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we need to improve on to the end user is this is a very complicated piece of equipment. And I think as an OEM, we really need to step up the game immensely from where we are today. And other businesses have that game going. Like you can find a lot more on YouTube channels on a chainsaw than we can on Entegra, right?
Right.
So those are the kind of things that we need to do to embrace and further enhance what you're trying to do, which is customer service and take care of the customer better.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
So, well, thank you. Pat, thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of RVU. It was a pleasure. You were so well behaved. I don't even know what to think.
Well, you caught me on a good day. And,
but I was just too tired to say no.
I'd be remiss saying that the admiration I have for the entire NIRVC team and the goal and the plan and what they're doing here is nothing but so impressive and good for the industry to keep on changing, and then they keep on having status quo. And you are changing the game here, just as other businesses have changed the game. Walmart changed the game. Then Amazon changed the game. Then Walmart had to see what Amazon, but you're changing the game.
Oh, well, thank you.
And game changers win.
Yeah.
Status quo people get left on the curb.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a game changer sometimes, but we definitely strive for that. So we want to bring the most to the customers and their experience, the same thing that you're doing. So
yeah, and I want to give Angie a compliment as the most highest level professional sales person in the RV industry as a woman, which is very challenging. We might be a little bit behind in that role in the industry, so kudos to breaking the glass ceiling on that, because it's not an easy ceiling, and you've done that, and I'm damn proud of it.
Oh, well, thank you. You have been a big part of my success. I honestly, credit a lot of the help that you've given me and coaching along the way from an expert. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about the topics that we discussed today, make sure you hit the link in the podcast episode description. If you enjoyed this podcast, well, then help us out a little. Make sure you tell your friends, write a review, and make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss the next episode. Make sure you tune in to our next episode to see which industry expert, icon, or influencer will be next on our roll call. Until then, class is dismissed, and we'll see you down the road.